Unfortunately, for the third year, it's already 3 times that the Security Council needs to convene to address this Russia full-scale and illegal invasion of Ukraine and against Ukrainian people. I remember it that Russia is a permanent member of this council, and that in spite of that, Russia continues this brutal war against Ukraine and violating its territorial integrity and the United Nations Charter. In July and August, we saw the highest civilian casualties since October 2022. It's United Nations who reported the number of civilian casualties has been increasing along the war. And it's clear that for Putin, the purpose is to deliberately destroy homes and civilian infrastructure, especially ahead of the winter. You know that 2/3 of the electricity capacity, production capacity has been destroyed. It's quite cold in Ukraine in winter, so the purpose is to push people into the cold and the dark in the coming winter. This is not a special operation. This is a way of terrorizing civilian population. We at the European Union we commit supporting Ukraine, and we continue supporting Ukraine. And I heard here some peace lovers saying that they love peace and they want peace. The quickest possible way. Yes, they love peace. Me too. The European Union too, and the Ukrainians more than anyone else. If someone is willing peace, it's certainly the Ukrainians, which are suffering the consequences. Some said, oh, stop this war because it's too costly for us. Well, it's very costly for the Ukrainians in terms of lives, not only in terms of money. Yes, we have to end this war quickly. Which is the quickest way of ending this war? They haven't mentioned the quickest way of ending the war, which is the withdrawal of Russian troops. Russia withdraw the troops and the war will end. But they haven't mentioned this quickest way of ending the war. Maybe they are thinking on another quick way of ending the war, which is Ukrainian surrender. And yes, without our support, Ukraine would have had to surrender. Is that what they are proposing? Not in our case. We don't want this way of ending the war. We don't want Ukraine surrendering and losing its national identity, its freedom, and its territory, and becoming a second Belarus. That has to be clear. And I would like to all these peace lovers who say they want peace to explain why we should not continue supporting Ukraine if they are attached to the United Nations Charter and the dignity and freedom of the people. Peace doesn't mean submission. We want a lasting peace. Peace doesn't mean surrender. We want a peace that respects the sovereignty. Peace doesn't mean occupation. Let's clarify what does it mean when we talk about peace. No occupation, no surrender, no submission. It is important to engage in peace efforts, certainly. To support Ukraine military doesn't exclude to support the peace process. Both things have to go together, hand in hand, the two sides of the same coin. The more will be Ukraine stronger, the more we'll be able to go to a peace negotiation. A peace initiative that will not reward the aggressor. No peace initiative should succeed if it neglects the United Nations Charter. And as President Zelensky said, there is one charter, only one charter, no different ones for different situations, and borders cannot be redrawn by force. As simple as that. Borders cannot be redrawn by force. This is the first interstate war in Europe since the end of the World War II in order to change the borders. The Security Council should stand to reaffirm its commitment to the United Nations Charter it's quite elementary, that the Security Council should support the United Nations Charter. Demand an immediate end to Russia's aggression and hold accountable those responsible for the many atrocities committed. I was in Bucha, and it was not theater, as the Russian ambassador has said. It was just a fake. Well, it was not a fake. It was not a fake. The corpses of hundreds of people in the streets were not a fake. And they were there during the Russian occupation. The satellite doesn't lie. The satellite shows reality and shows who were there before the Russians left. This war will end. All wars end. But it matters how they end. And today Ukraine is paying the highest price with their blood and their lives, with the destruction of their country. And it also matters for the rest of the world, because this war is not only destabilizing the world, it's not only creating hunger and high prices of food and energy worldwide, it's also creating a new way of imperialism from the past to try to dominate the common future. So international law and rules is not a choice, it's a necessity. If we fail in Ukraine, we will fail everywhere else. That's the message I try to convey to the Security Council. Thank you.